I'm still amazed when I see that.
That's the first time we've seen that commercial, and that's great. We haven't even watched the show since that happened, and that was a great episode. If you get a chance, really watch that episode. It was funny. Of course, all our episodes are funny somehow. Anyway, okay, so now what we've got is the next tool. What's this one called?
That is called a J200.
J200. Okay. This is designed to drill the holes for the mounting plates. These are the mounting plates for European-style hinges. And this is designed to drill the holes in the cabinet side for the doors that you've already made. All right, which is very simple. All you do, we'll just move this out of the way here. You center up the V's with the center of the hinge cup on here. And what we've done is we've offset this to allow for an overhang on the bottom. And by that I mean we're going to set this inside the cabinet, so we have to allow for an offset for this door to hang down below the cabinet.
Now this does have two sets of holes.
Right.
What's the second set called?
Well, if you mess up on these holes, you can back it up and do two more.
Okay.
No, actually.
Or you could use the tool right.
Actually. Oh, and you know, we sell these white plastic caps, so when you do screw up the holes, you can just put the caps on.
And we sell them in sets of 100?
Exactly. No, seriously, what it's for is this is for, you have two sets. This would set in here like this, okay? And this one is marked with an O, and this one is an I. So this one, what do you think the O is for, Ken?
Oops.
Oops. No, it's for overlay. For an overlay door. Now, for those of you...
an overlay door is?
It actually, when it's installed, an overlay door will fit over the cabinet just like that.
Sits fully over the, or it sits on top of the frame.
On top of the frame, called an overlay door, okay? The other hole, if you do everything right, has an eye on it, and that's an inset door. Now, a lot of people don't do inset doors because your cabinets have to be made very precise. The doors have to be cut perfect, allowing for the edging, the swing gaps, the gaps all the way around the door. So at least when we did cabinets, we did almost all overlay. Just much easier, much quicker to do. So if somebody is doing these at home, I would suggest doing an overlay door rather than an inlay door. It allows you to kind of adjust and move the doors back and forth.
Save the inlay door for the professional.
Exactly. Not that, you know, a lot of our homeowners are not professionals, but it's just a very difficult door to do. It's a difficult door to calculate for. As a matter of fact, you talk about calculation. A long time ago, I invented what's called a door stick, which it may be time to resurrect it, but what the door stick did was it measured the inside of the cabinet, and it told you what size to cut the door, allowing for the overlay left, overlay right, the swing gap between the doors, the thickness of the material on each side of the door, and it gave you that dimension to cut the actual door.
Shouldn't you have called that the door don't stick?
Well, no. But it was just a stick, and we adjusted it, and it worked out really well. But a lot of people that are doing European cabinetry don't really need that anymore. But anyway, so what this does is we've gone ahead and lined it up there. We've gone ahead and put it in here. You would drill your hinge holes here, and you would then set these. Now, what I noticed was I did get... Whoop,
See how durable that is?
this may be work. This, if we can get a shot of this, these hinges are actually designed to be used with a regular number 6 nickel-plated wood screw. These are not designed to be used with the Euro screws, the 5 millimeter. They won't go in here. The 5 millimeter holes are bored out larger to accept this screw, but this is a much stronger screw. So I would recommend doing the construction like this. But when you order your hinge plates, they have to be for a 5 millimeter screw.
That would typically like a bloom or a grass.
Exactly. Okay, why don't we go to our clip on actually drilling this cabinet, or drilling the cabinet that's on the video, and we'll go to that right now.
The Euro jig tool is used to install hinge mounting plates. It comes complete with 2 templates, each template having positioning holes to drill for attachment screws. The Euro jig can be used to pre-install hinge mounting plates. By placing a measuring tape against the slide pin in the tool's foot and measuring to the center line on the template, the elevation of the templates can be set. Positioning the tool on the cabinet petition so that the slide pin contacts the petition and the tool rests against the front edge of the petition, the tool is properly positioned to drill for hinge plates. Drilling is done with a Euro bit and the hinge plate can be pre-installed.
John's gone again, but it's not because he's off laughing again like he did a couple weeks ago. Really quickly, because I know we're running out of time and we've got a couple things that we've got to cover quickly. One of the problems that a lot of people have to deal with are drilling for the drawer glides or the slides. This tool is designed just for that. It will take and it will sit right on the floor of your cabinet. And all you have to do is, and I'm sure everybody saw earlier, and I'll flip this back up. All these are intended to work right and left. All you have to do is take and set these to drill your height or the position you want in your depth, front to back. You set this, the height, just merely by loosening the thumb screw. Adjust these. Get them to the position you want. Then you take, goes right inside of the cabinet. And I'm not sure if you can see it or not, but and this is a very small cabinet. This typically wouldn't apply. Or you could do it prior to your actual assembly of the cabinet. But then you're taking actually using, once again, same tool applies. It works with every one of these items, a Euro bit. You would bore your holes, front and back. Take the same tool, transfer it straight across. Once again, just straight over. You'd bore the same holes again, the same patterns, and this would get all your glides in the exact same position. Then you would just screw them in, and your drawers are going to work perfectly. So once again, a very critical tool to this whole system. And I know John wants to show you something real quick.
Well, I know actually we're going to go to video on that, and I'm going to go ahead and mount these screws, mount these hinges in with the screws that I have. I ran to the hardware store real quick again. So let's go to the video clip on how that actually works, the drawer slide member.
The Euro Uniguide tool is used to install the drawer guide cabinet member. It comes complete with 4 template arms, so guides for a bank of drawers can be drilled at one time. Each template arm has 2 movable drill guide bushings that can be adjusted within the range of the slotted raceways. By loosening the attachment screws on the bushings, they can be positioned to match the screw attachment holes for the drawer guide being installed. A center line on each template is used to set the template elevation. The Euro Uniguide can be used to pre-install drawer guide members onto cabinet partitions before assembling the cabinet. Placing the end of the measuring tape against the slide pin in the tool's foot, the elevation of the templates can be set. The tool is positioned on the cabinet partition so the slide pin catches the partition. Drilling is done with the Euro bit drilling tool. The drawer guide can now be installed onto the cabinet partition before the cabinet is assembled. Additional screws can be added where required by drilling with the Eurobit self-centering drilling tool using the drawer guide as the template.
Okay, John's got his drawer somewhat assembled here.
Okay. One thing I just wanted to show you really quickly. This was kind of a way to cheat to put the doors together, because when we did European cabinetry, we could never get these holes to line up just right. So what we did was we simply mounted our hinges in the door, and these aren't the right hinges to be doing this with, but we would just set the door with the overlay that we wanted. Mounting plates are already on the hinges, and we would just pop 2 screws in it, in each one, pull the hinges out, and then put the last screw into it. So like that, we were done with it. We didn't have to worry about it lining up. We tried over and over again to make sure that those holes were where they were supposed to be, and it just never seemed to work out for us. So that's just a quick trick if you happen to run into that
But
problem.
once again, if you have the tool right here, it's going to automatically transfer the information.
That's
This
correct.
fits right to the frame.
That's
so there's
correct.
really no way to screw up if you have this.
Well, there isn't, but we always seem to be able to screw up. So
That's because we're talented.
Yeah. Now what we're going to do here? Let's lower this table real quick. Can we do that? Do we have power to this?
No, we
No,
don't.
we don't.
But that's okay.
Okay.
Because we'll just
Go ahead
throw
and set
right
it up.
there.
You're tall. You can run it.
Okay. Now here we have,
This is not the cabinet we built, obviously.
but we'd love to take credit for it.
Right.
One of the last tools that really make up this complement is the I forget what they call it, the handle and knob drilling tool.
Yeah, EHIT.
EHIT, okay. Handle and
Euro
knob drilling
handle
tool.
it, right.
But this is a great tool because it can do a couple things very simply. One is when drilling a drawer, right here there's a 0 point, this line right here. It gives you both millimeters and inches. So if you're stuck working with the European system, you've got millimeters down here. Of course, if you can use standard English dimension, there's the inch. But you can easily measure the width of your door starting from 0, measuring over. This is 11.5. So then I know the center line of my drawer would be 5 3/4. Well, I took, and once again, just by turning this little knob and using its indexing line, I set this to 5 3/4. The next question is the height of the drawer. And I can do the same thing. I can put it like that and measure down. And I can see it's a 6-inch drawer face. By taking this, once again, just loosening the knobs, I can take and set this right at 3 inches. And what that will do is by taking this, letting it line up against the side of the door there, drawer, and the top, this right here represents dead center. And then by
Now that would be for a knob installation on that particular
for
cabinet.
a knob.
Right. Now if you were doing a wire pull, you would be using both of these, and they would be moved over off center
Whatever,
of the center line.
whatever
Exactly.
the spread of your hardware is.
Right, 3 or 4
And then
inches.
Here I have a drill bit, and as you can see, it would just penetrate straight in, just like that. And then I would have a dead center hole for a knob. Now the same exact principle works here. You can take, and you can either use this, if you're doing handles, you could take and set it to where I can loosen this up again. Set this right at 1 inch. Usually those stiles are about 2 inches wide, somewhere right in that area. But by setting it right at that height, and once again, you can see this works either way because it's knobbed on both sides. It has rests on both sides. So I could take, if I had, well, I hadn't set this, but we'll just take and say we want it down, oh, let's say 3 inches just for kicks.
Okay.
And we'll say we're going to put a knob on it, so we should end up down in that area somewhere. Then you can take, slide it up to the side of the door, let the knob catch the top of the door, and then our hole is right there.
Right.
Right at the 3-inch point.
Or
So
again, you can set it for wire pulls at whatever center you want to use.
you can do either one, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Now if you're going to do a door to 45,
Right.
found it's got a 45 cut here. Take and you can lay it right in there like that, and that gives you a hole at 45. Or if you were doing
A wire pull.
if you had a wire pull that
Why-
was at
why you'd want
at an
to, I don't know, but-
odd angle, but
Yep.
if you had it, you could sit there and you could do that. So this gives you an awful lot of flexibility. And the other thing that's really cool about this, especially since it's a tool that would probably go out to the road
Installation
quite a
truck,
bit,
yep.
is it is just amazingly durable.
Right.
You know, I was
Almost unbreakable, but I wouldn't say unbreakable.
no, because
even though
it
I
makes you
just
say
did.
unbreakable, but it.
Right.
I mean, you can see it takes.
Yeah,
You know,
don't break it, Ken. Don't break it. Let me, while you're thinking about the code number for this week, let me just go over a couple of things that the manufacturer wanted us to go over very quickly. They did point out that this full set of tools runs about $550 retail. So for a small shop or a home hobbyist, someone that's going to build their own cabinets. They're going to save a ton of money on their cabinets. A $550 investment is nothing to have the hardware or the tools
And of
available.
course, that's right now. I mean, if you
Right,
watch
well,
the show in archive,
exactly,
and it's,
right.
a year from now, it could be
Right.
different.
But even so, I mean, it's not gonna go up incredibly expensive from there. But you know, you're talking in that ballpark of $550. And I know we don't like to talk about prices, but we just want to point out that this is a very inexpensive way to get into doing line boring and 32 millimeter system screws.
And at the
what have
beginning
you.
of the show, we had 1,000, and we only have 500 left.
That's right, exactly. Let's see. We mentioned everything else we mentioned on their list. We won't be able to get to the square bearings this week, but we will discuss this in next week's show.
We were all
It'll
about
be on the
holes
first.
tonight.
Exactly. It
Where'd
was
you
all
put your
holes.
hole?
And okay, we've got a 10% discount on all the Euro tools on the website this week. And what is the code going to be?
The code is going to be 0122. No, I'm sorry, 0123.
0123.
012307.
Right. So if you want to go ahead and order on the website, take a 10% discount, order the whole set. I mean, it's great. Just have at it. It's a wonderful system.
It is. It's phenomenal. Once again, this. Oh, I
We gotta
guess
say
we're
goodbye.
done.
We gotta
Have a
say
nice evening.
goodbye.
We'll talk to you next week.
See ya.